Ash here, awakening humanity alongside the Sasquatch people, nature, foraging with Bigfoot, all those names. Just thought I would pop on here quickly. Well, there's no one around and do a live. See if anyone pops on. Anyways, it's been a quiet day. Yesterday, we went to a structure and they were around, but they were very subtle in what they were providing with interaction. Oh, there's a squirrel. So tonight is our last night. See what happens. Let me know where you guys are from when you tune in and where you're tuning in from. We're out here in the deep vast wilderness. Yes. 6 o'clock. I guess I normally do 7 o'clock live shows. I noticed that there's been a lot of different algorithms on YouTube. Yep. Anyways, have you guys checked out the shorts? See how it's doing really good on TikTok and Instagram, but I posted the interesting light beings, orbs, flying rods. The other night, I guess it would have been Wednesday, I posted it on the shorts. So I don't know whether you follow me here, TikTok or Instagram. You can see all the different beings floating around, which is very interesting to see. Spectacular. Had way more engagement on TikTok and Instagram on what these beings are that were, recorded by the Discovering Bigfoot. Nope, Bigfoot Livestream. This is the Bigfoot Livestream app. You guys can always tune into and watch. But anyways, I went back into the footage because they had an interaction out here. Hello, Alexandre. If I'm pronouncing that correctly, welcome. And on topic, welcome. And anyways, they had a Sasquatch interaction. So it would have been over here with them smashing and crashing and then shaking a tree. So that night, I woke up at 2:30 in the morning and decided, well, I talked to my daughter that day and she said she drastically woke up too at 2:30 in the morning. So I thought, you know what? Something guided me to go and check the footage at about 3 a.m. that morning. And that's where you see the shorts with all those interesting flying rods and orbs, light beings. People say bugs. I mean, these cameras aren't game trails. Like, these are huge cameras. Bugs, we don't get bugs like that out here. So they're not bugs. I had a bat expert look, and it wasn't a bat, not bats. Like, these things are like really long and they leave trails. Hello. Welcome. They leave trails behind them, so that is quite interesting. And then I had another follower send a YouTube link on a YouTube video that is talking about these flying rods. And some of them did resemble flying rods, which is very interesting. Midnight in Montana. Hello, welcome. So I'd really encourage you guys to look into that. So it'd be like, I don't know, 2 reels back, 3. No, I guess there's shorts on here. But yeah, check that out. Really cool imagery for sure. If you follow me again on Instagram, check that out on Instagram. But very, the big one, thank you on topic. I am from Canada, so Alberta. But right now we're in the deep vast wilderness of Canada in the Kootenay Rocky Mountains. So that's where I am, and we're out here just doing boots on the ground research, enjoying the wilderness. Yeah, let's just take a look around. I guess I'll show you guys where the Sasquatch, so there's 3 ladies out here. Anyways, the tree that was being shaken was this one right here. And then the smashing and crashing was here, and then back over there. And then other than that, the structure, when we were there yesterday, you could tell they were there. However, they used telepathy and telepathically spoke and said they're hesitant to come in because there are some sick individuals. Like they have a cold, right? So they were just wanting to stay back. They were hesitant about, of course, coming any closer. But yeah. And then what else? What else? No apples have been taken. And yeah, other than that, what else? I don't know. Feel free to drop me a question. Let me know if you've seen that video from the other night. There's a lot of stuff we could be foraging out here right now. Oh, it had some incredible wild strawberries. Like they were like this big. I mean, that's, oh, you are from Alberta as well. Calgary area or Edmonton area. It's beautiful. Hey, hey, W9V35. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, strawberries, and then there's some dwarf raspberries, which again, my experience when I was eating those with an expeditioner, it was, yeah, Calgary area. So we went to liminal space when we were doing that. So again, I see why people can all of a sudden, become so coherent and resonant with nature that things can happen, right? Because we're becoming like in alignment with everything that's out here. But yeah, do you get out into the mountains much? Topic, awesome. Yeah, it has been awesome. The weather has been, it's been nice. It rained, when did I get here? Thursday. It was really, really wet, which is nice because it can help, the conductivity of the grounding and stuff, right? Helping our energetics. Because again, if you're on this channel, we talk about the woo, we talk about everything as energy and how we can connect to nature. And then, of course, Sasquatch and all the other elementals, spirits, forest spirits that are out there. But what else? Yeah. Anyway, heard something. Cool. I thought, oh, everyone will leave, and then that's when I'll get to live interact with them. Do have the sound bowl over there. Was playing that. I haven't really responded to the sound bowls this trip. What else? Oh no. Hi Ash from Quebec. I like what you do. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being here and welcome. Yeah, anyway, so I guess this trip, so last night's tonight, so hopefully we get some great experiences. And so 2 weeks from today, we'll be going up Radium, so that'll be going up the mountain, finally, first time. It's nice, so I think I can spend the night in a sleeping bag in the middle of the wilderness without, it being cold, because the last time I was supposed to go do that, it was October, and it snows way up there on the mountains, so I didn't want to get too cold and just wasn't feeling it. So looking forward to this, nervous at the same time. Just because Mother Nature has been rumbling with, mountains falling down, earthquakes, volcanoes. She's definitely making noise, but we understand. Midnight in Montana. We have Sasquatch here in Montana. Yeah, I'd love to go visit Montana. Also, we have little people and they are around in the same area. Interesting. I myself have never eyewitnessed or experienced little people. I've had people say, yeah, like they were out. I can't remember where they were. And but they saw footprints of the little people on the ground. So that would be very I don't know. I don't know how I would deal with that experience. It's it's hard to comprehend sometimes that we're dealing with such huge beings out here, and then all of a sudden you take it down and there's little people running around the forest. That would be very different for sure. I get like the elementals and the fairies and stuff like that. It's a little more comprehensible, I guess, than little people. Um, have you experienced any Sasquatch yourself out there in Montana, midnight in Montana? I think it's just Montana to me is kind of like Alberta. However, like to me, it's still more like, I don't know what you would call it, like redneck, old school. And I appreciate that. That's just reminds me of those, the cowboy movies that we used to watch. I've seen on television. Yeah. Yes, I have little people. Wow, really? So when you say you've interacted with little people, what have you seen? Like, have you seen them or their tracks? Like, how can you know that you're in the area of little people, other than, I mean, obviously seeing tracks that look like baby footprints? That's what I was told, anyways. They look like, toddler footprints on the ground running around. Or are they a little bigger than that? I don't know. And then would they resemble more of like elves or dwarfs? I don't know what you would not, like, what do I mean by that? It feels like that's an insulting word. What, like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, right? Like when I went through liminal space, I swear I felt like Alice in Wonderland. Because like everything started to expand and get really big. You had the big mushrooms after, eating the dwarf raspberries. What came to small size Ashley and small time like Leslie. The one I saw looked like an old man. Oh, so you saw him. So then really short. So like when you're saying little people, like, are they like about 2 feet high? Kind of like, I guess it probably, to me, it sounds like, I don't know, maybe those fairy tales, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and Alice in Wonderland, all telling us some kind of truth, right? Who knows? Anyways, don't forget to hit the like button. When you guys join us, let us know where you're tuning in from. Appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate the donation. Appreciate the support for sure. And again, I appreciate the community and you guys showing up. So I will make some epic videos when I go up the mountain for you guys. I was going to put together, I don't know if you guys have seen, oh, well, welcome S Mill. We're here in Canada. I don't know if you guys have seen, I have a video, it's called Hide and Seek Bigfoot Hide and Seek. And it goes through what structure or a geometry shape that they left with a head. Definitely have been going down the research with that and knowing that they actually left, it wasn't the seed something, it was a heptagon that they left. Hello, Julie, welcome. Julie, have you checked out the footage of the flying orbs and flying rods? Have you seen it? Yes, they are the ones in Pryor are anywhere from 2 to 4 inches. Oh, wow. Howdy, Roger. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Oh, I want to sneeze, so sorry. That's that's teeny tiny. So I don't know if you guys ever saw that Willow movie way back. I mean, they had those little teeny people That's what that's reminding me of when you say anywhere from 2 to 4 inches. It brings me back to the movie Willow. Interesting. I mean, I've seen fairies, but I have not. So would the little people be riding birds and stuff? There's that I've seen those movies. Just asking. I know as crazy as that can sound. What else? What age was your first Sasquatch experience? Well, now that I've learnt about Sasquatch, I don't know, I think I was approximately 5 years old and we were camping out in the Cypress area in Alberta. Anyway, sorry about that. And I felt like we were being watched. And I was with two other like other kids, my brother and a friend, and our parents were camped way over on the other side of the field, and we were playing in a mud puddle in a bog. And I just felt like we were being watched. And it's like it was trying to bring me into the bush, like by snapping little twigs and stuff. And I thought, oh, it must be a cougar watching me. And I always thought, now that I know what I'm feeling, um, I always thought it might have been a cougar watching me. But now learning the energies and all of that, that was the interesting part. So knowing that that was a Sasquatch way back, that was my first experience. And then, what? Have a great night. Well, welcome, Sasquatch Confessions. Didn't see you come in. Happy birthday, by the way, and have a great night. But my first real Sasquatch experience was in October 2021 when they were like smashing and crashing in here. They were giving whoops. It sounded like the Sierra sounds. And then right behind, right over here, oh, right over here, we could always just walk on over there. I don't think the tracks are there any longer because it's been what, a few years. He was standing right behind. Was it that tree? We'll go back there and look. Not that tree. They were standing. So there's the fire. He was standing right here. And I just walked through a spider web. Lovely. Lovely. So he was standing right here. Oh, they're so old. You can barely see them, but they were in here. And he was standing right here. So you can see the lawn chair right over there. So here he is watching us by the fire. And he was here and he threw a stone at Gabby and I. Welcome, Corey Cox. And welcome. And that's where I went flying across the fire because I was like, oh my gosh. And Gabby, I mean, she obviously touched my knee, which made me go flying because we could hear him back here, like walking through the bush subtly. He was trying to be sneaky, right? But I was so open and in tune to the energies. And yeah, we were sitting there and then he rolled a stone and Gabby touched my leg and I went flying across the fire because I thought she was grabbing it to push me out of the way and I didn't want her to cut me off. So anyways, that's what happened there. Hello. And what else? Yeah, I guess I'll show you where they were smashing and crashing. So there are tree breaks and it's getting so thick of other trees and they're growing, right? So you can't really see them. So they're smashing, they kind of came over in on this side and then they're smashing and crashing through here. Smash. The apples are, okay, like way, like yards, like hundreds of yards over there. They took the apples, gave us some whoops. Oh, so last time, I think I may have, did you get any vocals or mind speak? Pause. But anyways, was it? It's cool if they come and play. What was I gonna say, you guys? Totally forgotten. Oh, so couple weeks ago, obviously last time I did a live, when we put the apples up, it was me, Logan, and Ross. And that's where I put the intentions to work. This is a gift. Here are the apples. I put them in my heart, and I'm like, my intention is to receive some whoops. I would love to have some whoops. I haven't received whoops since the first time I was out here. And an hour or two later, after putting those up, they gave us a whoop. Well, not whoops. It was three whoops. Blah blah blah. And which was incredible. It was nice to receive those. So that intention meant a lot, and I was so gratitude and appreciation for that experience. And the only, like, did I get vocals or mind speak? So I got the vocals on the last trip out here. And then the mind speak was with those stones, but I think you were here, Julie, when I was talking about the Julie. Hi, Ashley. We share the same name. Love the content. Keep it up. Thank you. Thank you and welcome. I will keep it up. And yeah, anyways, we have seen over here. So when I have seen Sasquatch or experienced them when I was packing up my vehicle, because here I would park my vehicle here, and they usually come in between these two. Oh, I can't. I'm unable to point in that direction. And they were standing over there. I knew he was over there. So yeah, it must be, nope, he's over here. Over there. There you go, right over here, you guys. And I'm sitting here putting stuff in my car, and I could subtly feel and hear them sneaking around. Like, because it's subtle. And if you guys are in tune and have an open heart, and stay open in the heart, not in the mind, we can feel that they're around, right? So again, it's staying in that innocence. Putting my stuff into the vehicle anyways, and all of a sudden I heard, hey! And I was like, my heart went to the ground, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds like Todd. He's not here. I turned around thinking that Todd would be there, but he was out with expeditioners, and I was like, oh my, the Sasquatch was mimicking Todd. He has worked with me over the years to try to have more of an interaction with, you know, like a face-to-face contact or just a closer contact without me being freaking out. How did you first start connecting with them? I'm so intrigued by this. So it would have been back in 2021. I was working for a station called Conscious Vitality, and they do like a lot of self-growth and would make shows on truth and just what was happening in the world. And the guy, the owner of that network, started to talk about Bigfoot. And then Brandon, he would channel Shaka, and I would help guide, like ask the questions for Shaka. And they kept talking about Bigfoot. And I'm like, well, that's interesting, because I have been out in the bush my whole life and have never had an experience or have, you know, like any kind of indication other than when I was 5 or 6, 7, and someone was telling a story about their uncle experiencing a Sasquatch running across this swamp. It wasn't a swamp. It's like in northern Alberta, we get a lot of muskeg. Now, you can't run along muskeg. I know how it is. And he was in the deep vast wilderness, and he was running, and he said he was sitting there. He was moose hunting. So this is like where you get the moose. There's a lot of dampness. And all of a sudden, her uncle said that the Sasquatch, this being, he didn't say it was a Sasquatch until afterwards, ran across the swamp as fast as, you know, lightning. And I thought, whoa, and she's like, and then he said it was a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot or something. And I'm like, wow, it resonated as true. So that was the only other kind of like Sasquatch, Bigfoot stuff I ever heard about. And so when they were channeling Shaka, and back to how I got on this, connecting with Sasquatch, Shaka was mentioning it because people from the audience were talking and asking questions to the extraterrestrial about Sasquatch. I'm like, oh, so when he stopped channeling the extraterrestrial, I asked Brandon after we get off the show, I said, what are you talking about Bigfoot? He's like, well, he's like, you've never watched the movie Discovering Bigfoot? I'm like, no, I've never heard of this movie. He's like, go watch it and go, then you'll figure it out. So I went and watched it, and that's where I was like, wow, okay, interesting. And it really got this excitement inside of me. Like, I started to experience so much excitement because 40 years in the bush, and I've never had like a being like this could exist. What? That is interesting. And being open and curious, you guys, this is the best way you can start interacting and play, right? The energy of play is so important. So I was out by Braz, up in northern Alberta, on a lake kayaking, and I was saying to a friend, I'm going to go out and I'm going to go find Bigfoot. And he's like, oh, well, if you need someone to help go out there with, you can bring me. I was like, oh yeah, he thought I was just being silly. Anyways, all of a sudden from the from the sky, this great big voice said, it's gonna happen a lot sooner than you think. And I'm like, okay, what just happened? It was like a loudspeaker. It's like, interesting. That was really weird. So later that night, I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and something said, okay, go look for no, go into Instagram and open up your messages. And I'm like, that's weird. I never do that. Never go on my phone, let alone wake up at that time. And then there was a message that said, are you interested in Bigfoot? I'm like, what? And then lo and behold, I was asked to come out on an expedition. And that's where in October 2021, I came out, and I was just so open. I get there's angels, I get there's spirits, and I was just open to the possibility of what is in the unseen that, has not manifested. Or, again, everything is energy, and that's where I was already practicing in that, and I was just open. And that experience, I think because I was working on just busting out, opening my heart through any kind of technique. It was herbs, it was my naturopath, just every energetic block around the heart, and I was open. So I was so open when I came out here. Just so much gratitude and appreciation, acting from excitement. And when I experienced the structures, the tree breaks, the tracks on the ground, feeling Sasquatch's energy, it lit something up inside of me that went, whoa, okay. And then I learned that they were with me the whole time. And it's just been 4 years of growth with Sasquatch for sure. But that's how, I got into it. And then staying connected, they can communicate. I get, that has built over the years. But it's just staying connected to nature is the most important thing that we can do for sure. By, teas, like herb teas, like red clover, you guys, like you got so much red clover. Oh, I was tipping over. So, let me just flip it around. So this one, like, this is a really good blood heart. Mix it with some yarrow, and you're opening up your energetics and stuff that way. Let me just skip to these questions. So Willie, do it, and Betty, don't. Great weather looks like, yes, it has been great weather. They are sensitive to you and know not to get too close. Right. That's for sure. They're going to go off of what they feel from you. And that's where, a lot of people that come out, they go, oh, I'm ready to see a Sasquatch. And then by the end of it, they admit, I really wasn't ready to see him. Because, it takes a lot of time and work and going out and creating a relationship. They have to start to realize that, they can trust you, that you're not there to do harm. You have to have like such a bright light within you to, I think, for them to even go, oh, I want to connect with that individual. Because they can see that, right? Like, you got a bright light or you got a dull light. And getting rid of our distortions and our energetic blocks and what keeps us in a lower density. Want to rise up and go to that higher frequency, a better like, we don't want to be dense, if you guys understand what I'm and I mean like energetically dense. Anyways, Willie, do it, and Betty, don't. Ever try drawing a picture in the sand near the apples? Like a simple stick figure or something, and see if they respond. Yes, we've done it around the Leslie and I back. Oh, I want to sneeze. Whew. Um, we did by the fire pit when we went ice bathing. We come back and it's like they're covering it up. Like, no, you can't do this. What are you doing? So I have done that. We have gotten results. It wasn't drastic results, but it was subtle enough to know that we went, came back, and something disturbed the images. We were doing kind of like, if you guys know what runes are, like runes, runes, I believe. Like there's certain symbols that we can do, right? That it's kind of like the language of nature. Still learning those sigils. If you guys have ever heard of sigils, they protect you out their ass, especially from the bears. Yeah. I mean, yes, I'm not gonna say no to that, Julie. It's true. However, I've never really had a fear of bears. It's always been cougars. I think there's like a big association, maybe like I don't know, there's a connection. Also, very interesting bear we saw out here. Just seen an orb fly by behind you. Yeah, cool. Yeah, you check out the other night with all those orbs and flying rods and stingrays. Like that one huge blob that floats by the camera looks like a stingray. Like, I think it's just absolutely incredible. This is so cool. I'm so fascinated by anything spiritual. Thank you so much for sharing a beautiful story. You are welcome. But yeah, you guys always feel free to join on Patreon, because like we do energetic, like there's lots of breath work, really working on connecting with ourselves and building that energetic connection with Sasquatch. And then you can take that relationship that we're starting to build energetically when we're not in the field. Then when we come into the field, wherever you are, you can, have that clean vessel and that relationship. They can trust you because, again, they want to see you showing up, always showing up. It's really, I think that's one thing they appreciate is I'm always willing to come out here, always willing to come out here. Always want to grow, always want to just come and connect with nature and come and connect with them, learn lessons if they have lessons for me to learn. Because I mean, these guys, they're intelligence, they're beings. And more I come out here, the more that junk DNA comes online, right? So, what area of Alberta, BC is most known for Sasquatch presence? So, you have the Nordegg area. See, I can feel it. So, there's Fox Creek area, Nordegg. Kananaskis country right in the back door of where I live. So the Calgary area, I've had experience. I've taken people out just to go have fun, and we live interacted with a Sasquatch, which they're like, well, I don't know if I want to go back into the wilderness with you, because you get these kinds of experiences, which is, I appreciate it. When people don't really, I guess, expect to have interactions, it's harder for them to comprehend, and they get a little scared and intimidated. But once they go back into, into civilization, or uncivilized, because we're kind of uncivilized, they start to integrate what has happened and process, and then they're not so intimidated, right? They want to go back out there. So awesome. Yes, yeah. Yeah, cats can be a little scary. Yeah, well, yeah, like cat and mouse, right? Like I know I've been scratched by a cat, but I wouldn't want to run into any of them. We've been on e-bikes and all of a sudden had a bear. I've been pretty much face to face with a bear, and she looked at me and I looked at her, and I'm like, oh my gosh, bear, I'm going to walk slowly this way. And she went the opposite way, which was, thank you, relieving. Are you on any other social media? Yeah, so go to Instagram, Nature Infused Ash, and then also Foraging with Bigfoot. And then TikTok is Nature Infused Ash, Ash K. And yeah, those are the platforms, and YouTube, of course, but you're here. So those are the other locations. But any of like the learning of the aspects, it's Patreon, just for, and I mean, it's cheap. I keep it cheap just so everyone can have that. But it, Other social media platforms tend to like to kick me out of the algorithm, even here on YouTube. Like they literally take views off of my videos and shorts and likes, and it's like, okay, whatever. But I guess that's what happens when we speak truth, right? There are actions for that. Bears are all over the place here, but they are black bears and not really a threat unless provoked. Well, yeah, seeing if we respect them and leave them alone, they feel that, right? For sure. And that's where I go, total respect. This is your guys' home, here to respect and not disturb. I don't, need to have an interaction. I don't even need to take pictures of you. However, that one bear that we saw the other day, he literally looks like he has a grizzly bear coat um, sewn onto the top of his back. And we're just like, okay, like it's literally a black bear. It looks like he's wearing a skin of a grizzly bear. And yeah, I've never seen anything like that before. Definitely an unusual characteristic of a black bear, because you don't see that kind of stuff. I believe it. Anything with truth, unfortunately, it's not right. I'm sorry you have to go through that. Yeah. Uh, one day that truth will come to light, right? For sure. But anyways, what else? Feel free to ask some more questions. Just thought I would just hop on here just to connect and bring you guys the beauty of nature. Yes, and so it is. So it is. Thank you. What else? Thinking if I've missed anything. How's the cameras coming? They are up. That's so Willie do it and Betty don't. If you go back to a few there are shorts on here, right? Shorts. You can see that footage that I have on is from the Bigfoot live stream. So they are on. However, he has to come back out here and do some more adjusting, just so they're working at optimal frequency. I also, I think it'd be cool if they turned back the camera back on over there, because then, I think it would help people. They like entertainment, right? When people are sitting by the fire and stuff, I think it would just give you guys, people, like, I like watching the cameras. However, I like to be entertained at the same time, listening to the expeditioners and tell their experience and stuff. It's nice to share that. Are you living off grid? I'm not living off, I'm camping. So usually out here it's 7 days out and then go back home and then come back out for 7 days. So I would love to live off grid. That is my goal, working towards that. I would like to actually buy land out by Sundre where some more we can have actual Sasquatch retreats and just have a big center, because that's right on the doorstep of Sasquatch there as well, and then start building relationship with them. Going to join Patreon. I can send you a link for sure, Julie. Thank you. Have they ever brought you any gifts? Yes, actually last year. No, not last year. So the year before that, they wanted to give me something. However, I did not turn around to receive it. They gift me rocks all the time, and I take them. I appreciate it. There are 2 stones over there. I have still just left them. They did give me those. So what happened there was they used telepathy and mind speak to show me. We were biking down the waterfalls, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, 2 white stones. You want me to stack them and play? I'm like, oh, that's weird. And we go back and we come back, and they were just showing me what they were doing, and we come back and there's 2 stones stacked in the middle of the trail. Again, there's no one else out here, you guys. So, and the way Sasquatch stack the stones, they're not like humans. They stack it so if you know what to look for with the subtleties of how, they're angled in a way that they can sense that pivotal point in the rock and they place it there so it doesn't fall. And then what also was interesting is the rocks, it looked like they were smacking them together, like this smack, 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 smack. Because when you lift it up, there's like tapping marks. And again, if you know Sasquatch, they like to tap rocks, pop their mouths, so there's all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that was the last gift they gave. And I appreciate that so much when they leave stones, and especially when they make them into structures. I think that's just mind-blowing because nothing else builds structures in the middle of the wilderness. Not a bear, they don't have hands. The cat doesn't have hands. Birds are unable to pick up. Sasquatch Ontario says, yeah, I mean, I think when I was supposed to turn around and accept a gift, I think it was going to be similar to that. I have been told by, I don't know if you guys know who that Two Birds person is, but he says like they will gift like I think it was red, like a red marble or a red stone or something. So just to know that that's unique. And marbles, I have all of a sudden just walked along and had a pure white marble appear on the ground, and like, what? Where'd that come from? And I would go, oh, that's a Sasquatch. Or it could be fairies, but for the most part, oh, I guess I haven't shared this. So at home, because again, I don't live in the city, I live out of the city on an acreage. And I have a gifting area. And again, I know they know how to manipulate frequencies to go and use teleportation, levitation, come into coherence and teleport themselves through trees. However, I left an apple up in the tree. For some reason, I was told, leave an apple in the tree. And I'm like, I'm freaking apple in the tree, you guys. Okay. So I put the apple in the tree, and I usually put my glyphs down on like a stump like this at home. And that's what I did. And 3 days later, I go back there, and I'm like, what? The apple's missing. There's nothing on the ground. There's no peckings. There's no nothing. There's no bears to climb the tree. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Now, what makes me go, that was a Sasquatch? Because the objects that were on here, oh, it was my stone that was removed. It hasn't been removed. They normally just play with it and place it around the glyphs and stuff. Like, you add this, I'll take this away. You add this. They took the stone away and they took the apple away. And they left like an X under the tree that I had the apple with. And I'm like, mind blown. Like, those are the subtleties when you're working with intelligent beings, right? That's how you know. It's not just some random bird taking my apple or a deer taking my apple, right? There's just things that you can start to build relation with. And that's where, when you start to learn these things, take these tools out into the wilderness and begin that field work and relationship, you'll start to learn. Hello, I'm from Texas. I always wanted to ask someone that knows about Bigfoot, how tall do they grow? Can they grow up to 12 to 15 feet like they say? Oh yeah, for sure. The one I saw last summer, I would say was about 11 feet. I mean, but such broad shoulders. He didn't have a neck, so it was like boop, 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 boop. And he was like he was huge. He was huge. And I mean like huge, like tall, but like also like broad, right? Like you got huge shoulders, no neck, big head. I appreciate you. It is awesome for sure. It's 100% real, right? And yeah. Sasquatch, yeah, right. Read that. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. If a Sasquatch came and sat right outside your tent or camper and invited you outside to sit and get acquainted through mind speak, would you go out and sit with him? No, not looking before you stepped out. No looking before I stepped out. Oh yeah, like, okay, so if I was in the camper and they literally woke me up, and again, I've had them in my head before because it's like, you guys just leave me alone. And they said, I'm outside. It would be challenging to come outside for sure. But I also have debated about just sitting. Again, you would have to do, I'm not going to just do this with some, like, in the middle of something, I'm just going to go in the middle of the forest, put a blindfold on. I wouldn't do that unless I had someone watching my back, knowing that there's no wildlife like cougars or bears around, right? So that person that would be with me would have to have a connection with Sasquatch. And obviously, we all know who that would be. Um, just to know that they have my back. But again, I have been told to keep my eyes closed because I'll go out in the bush, especially I think it was not last year, but the year before. They kept saying, shut your eyes, sit here and meditate. And then when you're sitting here and you're shutting your eyes and you're hearing, so it's not thudding. I don't even, it's thudding, but it's, you know, if it's a wild animal because they're going to sit there and they're making noise. And I knew it because all of a sudden, when you don't have your eyes open, it kicks in your other sensories, especially your hearing. And then for me, my feeling, the feeling body, like the energetics. Now I can sit there and close my eyes and I can go, where are you? And he'll show me and I'll see, oh, okay, he's sitting there. So yesterday when we were at the structure and so it was me here, had Todd in front of me, and then there was 3 of the ladies, like, I don't know, they would have been like behind this tree and just a little bit back. And I'm sitting there going, okay, where are you? And he's like, oh, I'm over here. And I can see all of the land when my eyes are closed. Cause again, I've built up to this though, right? Really feeling. And I go, okay, where are you? He's like, over here. And then all of a sudden, that's when I go, okay, cool. And then he'll make subtle noises. So whether he's going to start to snap sticks or kind of shuffle around on the ground or like thud, thud on the ground. Yeah, he'll make you aware, but it's subtle because not everyone that is here with us is going to experience Sasquatch because they're not ready. Now, when I was sitting there, he's like, I'm like, are you going to come? Are you going to come a little closer? He's like, hesitant. And he told me, and then he showed me what he was hesitant about. So it was like individual, he's hesitant and he has to stay where he is and he can't come any further or any closer to us. And so the other individual, he started going, oh, they're over there. And I'm like, so that's just confirmation of what I'm receiving from them. And also crows, ravens. It's just confirmation to hear a human go, oh, they're over there. Oh, over there. It's 2. Oh, yeah. Because I won't always speak because I want to get confirmation just to anchor in what's being shown to me, what's being remotely shown to me, like through pictures, telepathy. But yeah, remote viewing again, which I would have never have thought was going to ever learn until it would have been 2023. Oh, I love the ravens; they're so beautiful. But it's just it's anchoring. It's getting in stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And again, it's losing that doubt. So when you're practicing, don't doubt. Just do not doubt yourself. Like, oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. It's a muscle. Our intuition, our remote viewing, mind speaking, telepathy through the heart. It's all a muscle. We have to learn to work and then keep working, just like our muscles in our bodies, right? Like lifting weights. You're going to keep lifting that weight before you see a result. And then to keep that result, you're going to keep lifting that weight or exercising, whatever, right? Just to give you guys an example. But yeah, and that's all, right? Just keep working at it. Keep working at it. And I mean, feel free to, I do one-on-ones. I love just helping people. Everyone's growth is so important to me, whether it be, you want help with Sasquatch, you want to have that person to be able to, this is what's happening. Sometimes you need other people's perspectives to really broaden that view, right? Pull it up like an eagle. It's great when we can work together as teams. And just because we're not boots on the ground together, you can still be connected in other ways. This is what's amazing about um, where we're at in humanity with, devices like this that I can speak through my cell phone and to all you guys. So, are they usually males you interact with? Have you experienced a female Sasquatch? Yes. So, the female Sasquatch, she pierced my heart with a frequency when she gave out a whoop. It literally, pierced my heart. And I was like, whoa. And she did that because it was like she wanted to bust open a heart wall. Like, remove that heart wall. Here, I'll do it for you. Welcome, G420. And that was amazing. And then she was also the one that took the apples and gave the whoops. The ones under the structure that wanted to gift me something, there was a female and 2 males, but lately it's been a male. Seems to be a younger male. And then the one over there was he might have been 12, 14 years in age, but again, he was a male. So not really any female presence yet this year. There was a very feminine tree break because they're so much different than a male Sasquatch when they break. Because males, like, they're big and they're tough and they want to show their strength and they want to crack those trees that are like really, really thick. Right? And the females, they'll just take a little tree like this one, and they would just probably like snap it like all dainty, like snap, like I wouldn't be able to snap it like they do. Nope. not even close. Like a dead tree I could snap, but to be able to give it a clean break like they do, no. I've tried many times. Juveniles are more apparent to try and interact. A PT. I don't know. I'm not sure the that language. What do we call them? APT. I'm gonna just say that is more apparent to try and interact. Yeah, they're play, right? They want to play. Many bugs where you are? Not really. The odd mosquito, especially if the sun is behind the clouds. But no bugs. So if you see that film and you go, oh, those are bugs. They're not bugs, you guys. We don't have bugs like that out here. They are not. No. We have dragonflies, and I wouldn't call that a bug, though. Dragonflies are beautiful. And what else? Anyways, light beings, right? And that's light beings and orbs. Zach sent a video. It was called flying rods. And some of them did look like flying rods. You wish you would do more content. Awesome, Aura. Calming, soothing, and educating. Appreciate it. We'll definitely work on doing more content. It feels like it's been like a nonstop year. So there will be more content. Really want to do that, the geometry that they left. I want to do like a breakdown of the energetics, the geometry, and the meaning behind it. And then there was another video I wanted to do. I don't remember. See, I just need to start bringing my book and writing everything down, because sometimes I just forget what I want to teach and inform you guys about. Frequency. Yes, we want to learn about frequency. Where are you from? Canada, Alberta. We're kind of like in the BC Alberta border right now. I have some pics of flying rods from some trail cameras. Cool. Yeah, obviously they're getting like really apparent, right? But that just goes to show you, as we all up-level our DNA and our consciousness and the awakenings happening, all of these certain things, the frequency is getting so much higher. Now we're going into realms that have these other beings, and that's where it's going to be easier. And that's why Sasquatch is coming out, because as we go up in frequency, we're going to match them, right? They don't have to drop so low to engage. So that's why it's so beneficial if you guys lighten up and lose that density for us to have these interactions with. And frequency, energy, vibration is everything. Always. Any questions around that, I'm always willing to help. Like, oh, well, what can I do to, you know, get rid of this? Vibration is always getting out and moving your body, that vibration within you, and changing our thoughts, always being conscious of how we're thinking. Don't be conscious incompetent, be conscious competent, and know what you're thinking, and silence that mind if we can, right? By you say, well, how do I silence my mind? I'm always overthinking. You know what? Stop. What are you doing right now? My feet are touching the ground. My hand is on my whatever this stick is called, you know, oh, I hear a squirrel. So now I'm coming, whoosh, all my energy is coming back to my body. All of my energy and my power returns to me. Call your energy home. This is home, right? That's why your channel is so important. Appreciate that, Julie. Um, yeah, yeah, it's true. It's true. And it can be so disheartening when they literally take views and stuff off so you're not reaching the people that need to hear it. But again, you know, you attract, it's not all, it's all those people aren't going to jam with what's going on this channel, right? They're going to woo right over your head. That's one thing about being out here with sometimes with people. It's like, this is too dense for me. I have to go where there's higher vibration. That's why your channel is so important. Yeah. Drinking my aloe vera. Staying hydrated. But what else? What else? Anywho, so let's just take a look at the beautiful. Well, and hydration is key. And what I was learning was, I mean, I'm a fish out of water is what I've always said. However, if we're a crystalline body or a crystalline body of water inside of us and it's crystalline, we need to make sure that we're drinking like trace minerals with or like a pinch of Celtic sea salt into your water, just so your body knows how to assimilate it. So important. Hello, Ziki. Rabazo. Sorry for if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. Anyways, expeditioners are coming back. So I will say thank you guys so much for joining. Really appreciate you for being here. Stay tuned. I will definitely do some more in about a week or two. And to the top of the mountain. So good. So again, appreciate you all. See you next time.